Hi, so today I thought I'd show you a little bit about my language learning and how I'm using Obsidian to create dictionaries myself. Uh, Also to do sentence practice and to be able to look up things quickly when I need it. So, as you can see in my Obsidian Vault open on the left, I already have a folder for Mandoa, and you can see here it's a fictional language spoken by the Mandalorians in Star Wars. It's a Conlang, essentially, constructed language. And I've been learning this myself, talking to fellow language learners, talking to other people who are really passionate about the group of people that speak this language. And it's really entertaining for me. So I set up this vault originally for just Mandora, but have since decided to expand it to include Langbelter from The Expanse. Now you can see on the left side of the screen that I have a folder for Mandora, and in this folder I have tables, templates, and just a list of words. If I click onto any one of these words here, so let's choose buoy. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I am terrible with that word. But you can see that I've got a little bit of metadata here, two tags, and this. This will be changing for my Expanse dictionary. I was testing out a few different ways of recall and essentially like a flashcards plugin. And if we go into the edit mode, you can see here that I've got three little dashes, and inside that contains the main information I'll need in each card or each word. So why did I choose Obsidian for this? Well, first off, it's easy to use, for me at least. I've been using it pretty much every day. I'm understanding more and more, and it's natural to use this now to take notes. So instead of trying to learn something new, I thought I'd stick with the same software that I'm using. I can customize it as much as I want or as little as I want. So here I've added in new CSS code for the headings, which means I get these little bands which separates out my notes quite nicely. There's a link to that in the description of this video. I also have these little automatically colouring tags. So I've got one set up for Conlangs. So if I ever wanted to move on to any non-constructed languages, so say I wanted to include French or Russian or German in this, I can do that and have it very, very clear that this is a conlang, this is not a conlang. So yeah, I'm already using it. It made sense to keep going with this. So to start, what you're going to want to do is set up a folder for the language, like I've done for this here. So you just click new folder at the top and type in the language. So mine is Langbelter from The Expanse. Now, to make things a bit easier, I don't just make a new note or a new folder, since I'd have to then click and drag to whatever space I want it in. Instead, what I do is I right click and click new folder, and in here I'm going to make three folders. I'm going to do one for the vocab, so it's a little bit more neat than what I've got for Mandora. I'm also going to create one for sentence practice, if I can type. And I'm also going to create one for tables. Now I'm going to call this one Langbelter tables, just so if I'm looking at any folder later on I can tell the difference between them. Helps if you can spell. Now, what you are going to see is a couple of differences if you're not using this theme or any of these CSS styling things that I've added in. However, there are links in the description for all of these that I'm using, and they're fairly straightforward. Once you start using one, you can add more and more if you want to, or you can keep it as simple as possible and use just the basics. Now, I also have a couple of plugins on this account, on this vault. You can see them here if I go to core plugins. These are nothing I've messed with. Everything is exactly the same. Community plugins, I have added a few of them. I've got admonition, data view, quick add, recall, spaced repetition, and templator. We aren't going to be using all of these. This is just different ones that I've been trying out to see if it'll make it any easier and more effective using this vault. The main one I'm going to be using today is data view. I feel like that's the most important plugin to be able to show a list of notes, and especially for the way I've got my dictionary set up. Now that we've got the setup sorted, we're going to need to start making notes. We're going to need to start adding in words and grammar notes and the rest of it. So the same way as I did before, I'm going to click on vocab, but I'm going to make a new note. Now I have over in the right a quick reference tool for Langbelter that was created by a fan. This is something I use all the time to look up words because it's so easy. So if I want to use this to look up the word hello and see what that is, I just type the word hello and it comes up oh yeah dot hello. So it comes up Langbelter in English. So I use what I've looked up here, come back over to my note, and I call it oh yeah for hello. You put your 3 dashes. Tags are going to be dictionary, Langbelter, Conlang, and the type of word it is. So you can see here the type of word. I'm going to put word, 2 colons, and English, 2 colons, hello. Now what this does is the 2 colons make it possible for data view to search through all my notes and pick out this information. And since I'm going to be wanting to make tables which include various word types and be able to filter those, this is a key thing. So you can see it here, and I'll go oh yeah, so it comes up in nice bright text, and this means that if I ever hover over a word I'm not quite sure about, I'll get that word instantly, so I know it's the right one I'm looking up. The word type, put one dot to make a numbered list. I find this works better for dictionary entries since I can rank it as well. So for some words where they're more ambiguous or they have multiple meanings, I can rank it by, say, the most common word meaning of that word used, or by something I use a lot. So for example, bi-weekly. To me that means once every 2 weeks off the top of my head. However, it can also mean twice in a week. So you need to be able to rank those 2 different meanings. So if I put hello, it means that in English. Now, because I know a little bit of Langbelter, I'm able to go, oh, I know there's a related word off the top of my head. And that word is actually goodbye. So in Langbelter, if I type in oye, it comes up with oye and oyeding. So I can put a little tag for related words here, and underneath put one oyeding, a little dash, and goodbye. This means that if I'm ever looking up the root of a word, that I can see everything that it comes from. If I'm ever looking up a word, I can see everything it comes from, like the root words. So if I want to say use everything, I know in Langbelter it's courting, as shown here. Now that comes from 2 words in Langbelter. Call, meaning for every, and ting meaning things, thing or things. So it literally means all of the things. So as I'm starting to create my dictionary, I'm not just looking for a simple translation, I'm also looking at the root words. How are these words formed? This makes a lot more sense with Conlangs because they're created. Somebody has had to sit down, think about it, and make this word, bring this word into existence. It's not as simple as a language that naturally evolves over time. So it's easier to learn a conlang like these when you know the root words, you know how the language works, essentially. So if we go to our vocab, we can see that I've got oya. And if I click on the preview mode, you can see up here that the conlang is highlighted in green. This makes it very, very clear that it is not a natural language, it's a fictional one, it's a constructed language. You've got your different headings here. Now this is greyed out because I haven't created this page yet. So if I want to, I can go vocab, new note, oya deng, tags. For simplicity's sake, I am just going to copy and paste like that and just change this to goodbye. 3 dashes. But this time when I come to do the related words, what you'll see is it already suggests oya for oyadeng. Click on that and go hello. And this time when I do the preview, you can see that the word exists, so it will show me the page in the preview. I found this incredibly useful for looking at things like, as you can see on the right, there is a lot of words that use ting in Langbelter, and it's a lot of things I wouldn't necessarily have thought of, like a console or a hand terminal, things that are very specific terms. So it's useful to see where they come from. Like loyalty is loyal thing, it sounds like. So that is basically how you make each word, how you make a functional, simple, these are a list of words, this is what they mean. But I don't want that in itself. Instead, what I want is to be able to have a filterable lot of words. So I come over to my Langbelter tables, and I'm going to make a table saying all words. And I'm going to be using the data view plugin. Now there's a lot better explanations from a lot more people that understand it better than I can and explain it better than I can. However, if I use this tab here, and I'll maximise it now that we don't need to look up any more words really, and I'll go to Mandoa and Mandoa tables because it's already written for me, I can show you how to do this. So that will search everything with hashtag dictionary. For the Langbelter, I don't want it to do that because it would include the Mandoa. So instead, I do my data view inquiry, table English, because I want a Mandoa versus English, with a Langbelter versus English even. And since we're writing the note titles in Langbelter, it'll be coming up for us, so we don't really need to write table Langbelter English. We can just put table English. The file name will already be included in this. From hashtag Mandoa. I don't need to take out that templates thing in this one, it's not something I've created yet, so we don't need that line. And we can put sort file dot name ascending, just so it's in alphabetical order. And when we click on it, you can... I put Mandorla instead of Langbelter. Oops. There you go. So you can see that I have all words and I've got Oya and Oyading. This means it's searching through anything tagged with Langbelter and not with a dictionary like the Mandorla one is over here. Now that's for all words, and I've only got one type of word in here so far. If I was to add another word, and going back to our little thing here, if I was going to add the word ting for things, so I go ting, tags, Langbelter, dictionary, Conlang, and so on. Word is a noun, and the English for that word is thing. I'm not going to do a full list here, but you can see that it appears over here as ting, thing. If I want to search where I can only have the nouns visible, what I'll do is I'll come over here and go new note, and we're going to take this that we used before, exactly the same. However, underneath this we're going to put where word equals noun. This is case sensitive, by the way, so if you put a lowercase n in your notes, it won't work in the same way. You'll be missing certain words when it comes to filtering. And you can see here, ting, thing. If I put over here, nouns. So if I go back to all of the words here, and say I change Oyading in my notes, and I make this a noun instead, you'll see it appears on that list, because it's now registering that that's a noun. Put it back to the way it was, and it disappears. This has made it incredibly useful to search through notes, search for words that I need if I'm looking for a particular one. I don't then need to work out, oh, is this, how far down in my table is this? I can just go to, I know it's a noun, I know it means such and such, go to that and see the filter. Or I can come up to the search bar here and I can type things like thing. And I'll see, oh, ting, here, English, it means thing. So coming back over here, just to show you a little bit more what it looks like in practice, we have adjectives in Mandorla, pronouns, nouns, and then a list of all words. So that's what I use in order to make my little dictionary. I really enjoy it this way. I think it's so much simpler. It works for me. It works for the way my brain works. And I'm probably going to constantly be customizing this and probably never stop changing and improving. But for now, this is what I use, and when we go back to my little homepage here, I can make a thing to show you that this is Mandorla. I can link to that folder, I can link to the Langbelter folder, because I'll be making like folder notes. So instead of linking to a particular folder, since you can't do that in Obsidian, I have a note in each folder that relates to that folder. I haven't set it up here yet because I haven't had the time, but then I can go from here, make these into links, so from my homepage I can jump to any language that I want. So that is how I set up and maintain my dictionary. Thank you.